Thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Maiyegun live. And thank you very much for joining me tonight. After reading the caption of the broadcast, kindly read the description of the broadcast as well. Then like it, hear it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them, your frenemies, and tell them to join us. Maiyegun today, Maiyegun is live. That's it. Thank you very much once again, if you have done all of that. Tonight, we are here to learn more about what truly happened in the ongoing trial of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. In their court today, the Nigerian media have been blowing a sort of like funny headlines all over the place. That their headlines have also got so many lawyers in Nigeria so confused. And I have been watching the reactions of a lot of them in the last few hours. There is this part of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's trial that he himself observed, and he categorically mentioned in one of his court appearances when he was speaking to the press. He said, it is either you guys are doing this deliberately by publishing misleading headlines, running with them like you just left a WhatsApp group that said, okay, go and use these headlines. You are so lazy that you come to court as judicial correspondents. If you are a journalist and then as you attend, you are attached to the court. Your job as a judicial correspondent is not just about what people say. Most of it requires you doing your own background check of what exactly happened, because that's why you are there. And if you have journalists in court, right, whose most, their only intention of attending this trial is not really to expose, right, all of the judicial abuses going on, including the abuses of some of the section of your laws, as Nnamdi Kanu is pointing out. So they are just there for sensational news, headlines. Nnamdi Kanu said, the court denied, the court this, the court that. So on Maiyegun's diary Politico, we are not court. And I am not here to hold a court for Nnamdi Kanu. I am here to help those of you who want to know the truth, and much more those of you who have been following this for quite a long time. You deserve to know what is really going on, plus what you know, what you have heard, and maybe plus this, you'll be able to have your own personal kind of understanding and maybe conclusion. So before we get into it, I need to remind us all that from my own perspective, having been somebody who has been following this for quite a long time, and I'm not following the sensational headlines, I mean follow. Here you get. So I can tell you this for free, that the position of Nnamdi Kanu, the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is that there is no court in Nigeria that can try him if they are obeying their own laws. And the argument that, he submitted a no-case trial. Do you get me now? And a no-case trial was rejected, meaning the court says, oh, he must actually put up a defense. So that is why we are probably going to it now. So Nnamdi Kanu has nothing to prove to everyone. He is there, right, to show to them that if you by any chance, just for a second, take a moment to reread these sections of your own laws, you realize that all these things you are doing, all these things eh, you are wasting your time. So I have seen lawyers, some of them who are very much, very kind of like vocal on social media. They've been expressing their disappointment. Who gave him this kind of advice? The court gave it first. You sack your lawyers. You said you want to defend yourself. You've got witnesses. Now you are saying that, you are no, I mean, they do not have any legal standing to actually try you. So what are you actually doing? I'm not a lawyer. I'll tell you what happened in their court today and give you precedents as well. So the last time when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu appeared in their court, which was last Friday, he told the court that he couldn't really represent himself within the time frame given to him by the court. Because number one, he needs to have his case file for the first time handed to him to actually look into it, study it, because the charges they charged him for, what they charged him for the past 10 years has been treason. And he's defeated them in court already. So I want to see what you are charging me for and all of that and the legal backing, the section of your law that you are using, relying on to charge me before I can put up my defense and call my witnesses, because that is when I'm going to know if you actually have any legal ground to actually charge me. Not all this stuff you are putting in the papers or in their media. This is what I want to see in my case file. So they gave him his case file, I believe, and over the weekend. So when he arrived in court today, right, he was expected to possibly address the court and tell the court the process of his defense, what he's going for first and next, and the rest of that. Or no, Nnamdi Kanu didn't do that. What did he do? He told the judge, right, that after going through these new charges, because when they kidnapped him in 2021 from Kenya and charged him for treason, not terrorism. So when he went to court, he based his argument on, they said, they were charging him. Then they said, there is no any of his actions that they have presented so far, because it won't give them what they will use in nailing him. And what was that? What is that? Nnamdi Kanu believes that if you accuse me of something, you get me now, the onus of proof is on you. Meaning you have to be the one to prove that I committed that crime. There's a section of your law that allows that. I'm not going to give you anything. I'm not even, in fact, going to call any witness. But you first, before that, you need to show to me that law, that treason law, that relates to what you said I did, incitement. I am using social media to incite the people. You see, that word incitement is also covered under the free speech. So that is not a terrorism, it's not a treasonable offense. So you will need to prove that I have actually done something, right, treasonable in this sense before your court. You know something? Their federal high court under Unyako, was like, okay, if Nnamdi Kanu is not going to defend himself and all of that stuff, because they couldn't show him any law in Nigeria that says, if I'm talking about referendum, if I'm talking about self-determination, there is no section of Nigerian law that criminalizes that. There's no section, nowhere written in your law that if you are talking about referendum, if you are talking about breakup of Nigeria, if you are talking about those things, right, there's no law. But Unyako was like, so based on that, he said, you can't try me. You've got no jurisdiction to try me. Considering the process of extraordinarily renditioning me, and then you are charging me for treason. No, you have no such. Unyako found him guilty and said, well, in that case, Nnamdi Kanu is guilty. I can't even remember the sentence he gave him then. So they went straight to the appeal court. At the appeal court, it can't be like sense kind of like, came to life. The appeal court agreed with Nnamdi Kanu 100% that indeed, based on this section of your law, I'll show you some of them. right? He is right. Even though he's not a lawyer, but yeah, he is right. He can't be tried in Nigeria. That ruling was the ruling that Nigeria failed to appeal the first 7 days or so. They waited for about 9 days before they now went to the Supreme Court and said the Supreme Court should give them the right to retry Nnamdi Kanu. Now, there's a section of your law that says he who disobey court order cannot approach the same court for any support or any prayer. Nigeria government disobeyed their own courts. They did that, they violated their own law, but they still wanted the same court, the same law, to answer their prayer. So this is the replay. Rather than go back and charge Nnamdi Kanu with the same treasonable felony, they are now charging him for treason. So here is the argument that happened today. So Nnamdi Kanu told the judge and said, hey, Judge, I have read through the case file, but guess what? I realized that even though a court of appeal gave me the judgment in 2022, right, that the court actually discharged me and acquitted me of all of their charges. Now, because there was no law they could use, there was no part of their law. They were making up all nonsense law, the cyber act, cyber, all those nonsense laws that are not related. However, they lost. So he's now telling them that they are charging me for terrorism now. For terrorism, this is like them changing their case again. And guess what? They made a mistake. Or maybe they didn't make a mistake. It's just part of the old John dice they put together. They are charging me under Terrorism Act of 2012, where they already have a new one. That law has been abrogated, as is no longer existing because they've amended it in 2022. So which means the case they are charging him for terrorism right now, they are using their 2012 Terrorism Act, which under itself, right, which in itself contradicts itself based on what these guys are presenting as Nnamdi Kanu's case. Now, again, this is not a court. And also, if you care to know, I don't think Nnamdi Kanu has anything to prove to anybody, right? Because he knows that he won't get the justice in their place. The longer they continue to ignore this particular set of their own constitution, and they are trying him under that constitution, right? Under a law that doesn't exist. So how do you try somebody? You're currently trying him before a judge right now, and you said you are trying him under the 2012 Anti-Terrorism Act or something, right? But it's already amended. The law doesn't exist. So Nnamdi Kanu is now asking them that they will need to come up and say, hey, Nnamdi Kanu, we are charging you under this particular law. And all these charges, you know that when they charge you in Nigeria, right, their court will say, charge one, you, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, on the 18th of December 2020, you did so and so in violation of the section of subsection of their, here you get. So you will need to come and tell me. And if you won't, then I've got nothing to defend, which means whatever evidence, which in itself, by the way, whatever evidence you think your 5 DSS witnesses presented, which in itself are not really much like tenable anyway. But if you want to go ahead, that statement that I incited people by asking them to fight for their rights. I incited them by telling them the reasons why Biafra had to go through a peaceful referendum is covered under free speech. And if by any reason at all that you want to actually have any conviction for that, Baba, with the time they've locked him up in their detention, it's even overspent the time. It's just a 2-year detention if you are found guilty. So it's not terrorism, it's nothing. But they are making up all this, APC did a lot of those laws, all this to gag Nigerians, scare them, you know what I mean? And most of the time, lock them up. So today in court, I'm coming back home. So today in court, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said he is not looking forward to justice from these guys. Only God has justice. So whatever meaning, whatever interpretation you want to give to what is going on, he strongly believes that in the presence of justice, this whole sham trial, this nonsense will fall apart like a domino. He said, God is the only one that gives justice, not these guys, not these rogues, who continues to compromise the same judicial process, right? And then say, oh, he's using a delay tactics. What's the point? He argues there, he wins you, you disobey the court order, you still lock him up. So is that justice? Is that something that, it's not saying that he's not going to put up a defense. So he wants the prosecution to come and check their own error in their own, the haste in which they want to actually have him jailed or even killed. They continue to make mistakes, like when they kidnapped him from Kenya. So he's not looking for justice from them. He's not the one there charging them. They are the one holding him, right? Illegally. Listen to this.
Where's the lying news agency of Nigeria? Are they here? Those liars and deceivers, are they here? That distort the news. You don't know what law is. You don't know what justice is. Where's the news agency of Nigeria? What are they? You don't know that God is a God of justice. You don't know that? That God in heaven is a God of justice. You don't know that?
Did you hear that? He was asking the journalist, where is that news agency of Nigeria? It's lying people. Sending out a wrong information simply because they want to keep the narrative in the media the same. And it's so shocking that Nigerian lawyers, some of them have been, sort of like ventilating or something like online. What it is that thing, the only thing they haven't done is to snuff life out of him. What is that thing you think they want to really do to jail him? Is that not what they are already doing illegally right now? So what is that thing that you think will happen if he says, go and do your ruling? Well, before you do that, right, I am going to share with you the section of your own law that says this. He's been denied access to fair hearing. When you accuse somebody of something in the face of the law, they are considered innocent until found guilty. You understand? Innocent until found guilty. And the onus to prove that somebody has committed a crime that is a criminal offense mostly lies on the prosecutors. And that's exactly what Nnamdi Kanu is doing. There are sections of your law, as useless as that your trashy paper called constitution, that those lawless criminals are using to gag you. There are sections of it that still gives him all of these rights. But he's not looking forward to them to like obeying them. He's not. But is there going to be a record that all of this happened? Yes, there will be records. So listen to this. Nnamdi Kanu is deriving his, new move on the following. And there has been no any counter sort of like part of the constitution that is contrary to what I'm about to read to you right now. Nothing like, okay, if you go to section, no. Listen, they have a section 36.4a, by the way, 36.4a. Said, whenever any person is charged with a criminal offense, he shall, unless the charge is withdrawn, be entitled to a fair hearing in public within a reasonable time by a court or tribunal. They have not given Nnamdi Kanu a reasonable public hearing. So many dramas that you don't want me to kind of like go into again, by the way. So, Kanu, how is this relevant to Kanu? It guarantees a fair trial, includes this section of the Constitution, guarantees a fair trial, including the right to know the exact charges and the legal basis. Kanu argues that the charges lack this, as they rely on a repealed act, making the trial unlawful. The court must exclude invalid proceedings to uphold independence and impartiality. There's another section of that law, 36, subsection 5 of that same law, your constitution rather, said every person who is charged with a criminal offense shall be presumed to be innocent until he is proved guilty. Why is this relevant to Mazi? Now, that also reinforces, by the way, that the prosecution must prove guilty. So it must prove a guilt beyond reasonable doubt, as Section 135 of the Evidence Act 2011. Now, they are the ones to prove that Nnamdi Kanu committed an act of terrorism, not just this your social media copy and paste download videos that they think is actually relevant maybe to them, right? So they will need to prove more, which means Kanu's no case submission leverages this presumption, claiming no prima facie proof exists. So no defense is needed. That's his argument based on that your section of that your law. There's another one, which is 36 subsection 6A. Here it says, every person who is charged with a criminal offense shall be entitled to be informed in writing within a reasonable time of the nature of the offense. Now, how is this relevant? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is demanding that the section of the law to fulfill this, without it, cannot prepare a defense, violating his right to adequate facilities. Section 36, 6D. Here is another part of your law. They say this one is, again, no, don't think, like I said, this is not a court. And we are not here to probably make any impression on you. Especially those of you that feels like, oh, you should go and be setting. No, no, there's no point. That is what is happening in their court. Here you get. These are not something that anybody who understands what law means should hear and ignore if they are not really fulfilled. And then you expect a fair trial, fair judgments, and all of that stuff. So they have violated their own laws. You know, another thing that actually makes this particular trial illegal is that appeal court discharged and acquitted Nnamdi Kanu. Nigerian government disobeyed it. Then approached the Supreme Court, right, to stay execution. And they want the Supreme Court to give them right to go and do a retrial, which means they want to go back to the same court and go and get their own prayers against Nnamdi Kanu granted. Meanwhile, the section of their law says, if anybody disobeys any court judgment, they have lost their right to approach court on any case at all for fair trial, for any fair hearing anymore. They've lost it. Because ordinarily it means that you do not respect the court, you do not obey the law. So if it doesn't favor you, you trash it. You pick the one that works for you. But law doesn't work like that. It is the same law that will release somebody who is a mass murderer and then jail someone who committed, manslaughter. And you'll be wondering, how did that happen? Well, it is the law. But unfortunately, you have no choice. Once a court makes that pronouncement, you have to obey it. And then you appeal it if you have the right to appeal in time. But these guys were like cherry picking, choose, pick and choose. and they want to do the trial again in that same their court, asking for same prayer or something like a different prayer that they believe maybe the court will now grant that. So by that section of that law, they've lost that right. This whole thing is a sham. It's just a waste of time, right? Even if they come out tomorrow and make a pronouncement, Nnamdi Kanu guilty, let the media run with it. Because that is a pre-concluded sort of like end anyway. Now let me read more, right? It says here, it said, section 36, subsection 8 of your law says, no person shall be held to be guilty of a criminal offense on account of any act or omission that did not, at the time it took place, constitute such an offense, and no penalty shall be imposed by any criminal offense heavier than the one that would have been applicable at the time the offense was committed. Now, first, I'll tell you how this is relevant, and I'll explain it. So, what that section simply said is that it nullifies the charges under repealed laws, like the 2013 Act, as the 2022 Act changed the framework. Kanu cites this to argue the charges are retroactively invalid. So they arrested me. They said, anybody who incites public to so and so, right? This person will be charged for incitement. Okay? And then, and if that incitement leads to any form of destruction of or maybe loss of lives, it could be tried under Terrorism Act. I'm just making that up now, like an example. And then they were trying Nnamdi Kanu on that based on this, their current charges. So they are charging him on a 2013 Act that has been repealed. It's no longer valid. So there is another one with a different framework that says, those who carried AK-47, those who did this, those who did that. Here you get. So that simply means you can't try somebody that you've held in detention and been tried under a different law. You can't keep him and try him under that same old law. You would have to probably technically, right? They've got no case. Technically. But we all know they never had one. So there's another section of your law, section 36, subsection 12. Listen to this part. It said, subject as otherwise provided by this constitution, a person shall not be convicted of a criminal offense unless that offense is defined and the penalty therefore is prescribed in a written law. Ask them now that what is, we're asking about the law that they are using to try Nnamdi Kanu. So under this their law, what will be the punishment? Because Nnamdi Kanu needs to know. Do you get me now? Like they are accusing him of something, right? And he needs to defend himself. How is he going to do that? You have to tell him, outline every section of your law that says this thing he did is committed a crime here. This one is committed a crime here. Then when you pull everything together, you realize that this is not even a terrorism charges. Here you get. Like by the time you start reading all those things, you are writing that this is not terrorism. This is not terrorism. We say it's terrorism. This is not terrorism. But we need to say it's terrorism. So because you put it out and say, well, let's just say it's terrorism, then we know it's not really terrorism. So here they said directly how this is going to affect Nnamdi Kanu's stand. Directly supports Nnamdi Kanu's core demand. Offenses must be defined in extant current law. He claims the charges fail this, rendering them nullity. Those of you who were reading that Nnamdi Kanu, why would he just say he's not putting up a defense? You heard this whole thing now, right? Did any of this sounded like somebody who didn't know what he's talking about? Are the media and even their judicial correspondents, are this kind of like relaying this to the public and tell them that, listen, look at what your government is doing. This is what your law says, right? And this, so far, is how they have been treating this person. Somebody they have kept under solitary confinement for so long. I'm talking about for years. is being limited access. They've limited his access to have, sunlight, fresh air. They limited that. They limited his access to medical care. They limited his access to worship or, practice his own religion in their detention. They have physically assaulted him. They have psychologically tortured him. And they do that to him every day. That is the person Nigerian court is expecting to go and put up a defense. They didn't give him any access to have, his own case file where he could study it, discuss it with his own lawyers. And his own lawyers, right, will take note from him in order to build his defense. All of these have been denied. Then they gave him 5 days to defend himself. Out of that 5 days, 2 days gone, because out of that 5 days, 1 day out of that was used in reviewing his own case, and he discovered that, look at these guys, this is a pure waste of time. They've got no case against Nnamdi Kanu. So the judge now said that, okay, if that's going to be your stand, you have to put it into writing, your address. So, and that is expected, right, from the 4th to the 5th and the 6th of November. So Nnamdi Kanu, they would have the time, because they said his address, this is how they are doing it, to say his address, which will be on the 4th. They will put all of this in a proper address to the court. Say, based on this, based on this, based on this, based on that, I do not have any defense to put up until they can prove that what they are doing now is covered under a certain law. And if then I can put up my defense and call it the witnesses. So the court now says, okay, put that in writing and send it to the prosecution team, the people who are persecuting him, to have this copy. So that when they meet in court on the 4th of November, right, they would expect the opposition, well, the persecutors, they will be expected to probably present their own address too. And their own address is going to clear the position of Nnamdi Kanu or even validate it. So if they decide to say, no, we are trying you under a right law, the correct law, okay, let your judge, let him decide then, because I've got nothing to say then. So you, Mr. Judge, go back into that constitution then and read all these parts and tell me if I am wrong. Okay, you, Nnamdi Kanu, you are wrong. Okay, fine. So then they go to appeal again. That is what some of these guys are saying, is intentionally delaying them. Delaying who? Delaying criminals that are they don't have any intention of giving him any justice. Are you so kind of like, so unbothered with truth, right? That you still feel like it should give them what they want? No. They would have to actually use their own hand or their own rope to hang themselves. What is your fear? Oh, they will just send them to jail. Somebody who has been in their detention for more than 10 years, in and out of it. It's not had a normal, proper, a family man, kind of like a relationship with his family because of this. He's not been able to actually witness the burial of his own parents because of this. So do you know how much he's actually lost, that you suddenly on social media, you are feeling concerned for him? No, we know it is not about your concern, because majority of you don't really care what happened to him, what has been happening to him. It's only once in a while when their media brings all this sensationalized news, which most of the time it is to divert your attention away from the real thing. Imagine if a lot of you actually understands this judicial manipulation, this corruption, and its impact on their entire judiciary image in that contraption. Do you think it won't be a different story? So again, it's got nothing to prove to them. Now, in that same Abuja, right? Omoyele Sowore, Aloy Jimako, Emmanuel Kanu, which is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's brother, and 11 others were released finally from Kuje prison after fulfilling their bail conditions. And they reminded everybody that the gate of their prisons can't really hold their people when the time comes. Omoyele Sowore and others, right, living in Kuje. But before we even get to that, oh, I should add that a politician who once vowed to be ready and willing to stand surety for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is now the promoter of the creation of annual states as part of the new 50 states they are planning to create in Nigeria. 50 states and then 276 local government extra. So it was with Sheung last night, and as somebody, right, who I believe is in the know, he had this to say: the detention of Nnamdi Kanu, the whole thing, is a pure disaster. It is like Nigeria got stuck in a place and they have no idea of how to get out of it. To save face, they continue the sham trial. And it's not saving their faces.
On the floor of the Senate, and you have argued with your colleagues the need for an annual state, and don't even begin the conversation around marginalization, because that's the first thing, because people will say we have Southwest 6 states, South 6 states, Northeast 6 states, North Central 6 states, Northwest 7 states, but Southeast 5 states. Is that part of the agenda to fix the Southeast that seems to be smaller in terms of the number of states, or what?
Well, almost just over a year ago, I had a meeting with the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where I discussed about the problems of Southeast, the insecurity in Southeast. What do we do to address it? And he knows the problems, and he also has an idea. The whole idea is that there should be some level of equity extended to the Igbos of Southeast by having an additional state. It wasn't going to be an easy task, to create one, but it is doable. And I'm happy that we have come this far. The point is this: even at that time, it was understood that the problems of Southeast, the agitations of the youths of Southeast, the killings there, the referring to the ESN groups and ESN and IPOB and the rest of them. These are young people who have come up to say that they are fighting for freedom because they are marginalized. And one of the areas that they've all spoken about and against is the fact that they are the only zone. Southeast is the only zone in Nigeria that has 5 states. Why is that? Why was it done intentionally to undermine them? Of course, yes. And from engaging those youths, it became so obvious that if a step is taken in creating one state, just one state, to bring it apart with 5 other zones, let's leave Northwest out of this now, at least bring it apart to the 4 other zones, then something would have been done for them. Yes, they are clamoring for different things, but I mean, not least, of course, the release of Nnamdi Kanu. They're asking for it. We know that is something that has to be done. You would just say
Nnamdi Kanu to be.
Oh yes, yeah, of course.
Why do you think so?
Nnamdi Kanu has been in custody for some time now. I believe that he has been held unjustly. Many people feel that way.
As a lawyer, do you think so?
Oh yes, yes.
That the judicial process is unjust?
Yes. Yeah, no, it has been. There's a lot of delays in prosecuting him and all that. If you want to get him tried and convicted, get on with it. But this is a guy who has been held unjustly aside, for so many months.
And the Buhari government started it.
Oh, yeah, I'm not talking about this government.
Trial. No, so the point I'm making now.
I'm talking about the previous government under Buhari.
When it's facing a judicial process right now.
Yes.
Saying it's just because the argument is that there should be a political solution, maybe a null prosecution. Prosecution should be established on that for the case to be withdrawn. But there are those who say, well, there are allegations and it's left for the law for him to have his day in court, which is in process.
But as you know, there have been some pronouncements by the Federal High Court, which has not been respected. You know, so his incarceration is the main reason for the crisis in Southeast.
But the crisis started before he was even arrested.
No.
The killings, the burning of police station, the killing of police officers and all whatnot.
Well, look, the problem in Southeast is very different from what is in the Northeast or Northwest and all those areas. You know, the problem in the Southeast has to do with the perceived injustice by governments, successive governments. So what needs to be done? And one of it's why I'm here today, you know, talking about the creation of states to make up the number up to 5. And then you have the release of Nnamdi Kanu. By the time you do these two things, I am almost certain that peace will return to Southeast.
Let me ask you this question, Senator.
I have spoken to so many youths in Southeast, from Southeast, and they have assured me that that they are prepared to be engaged by us, by the leadership. You know, when this is done, they don't want to die. The youths don't want to die. They want to go back to schools. They want to go back to their jobs. All they want is some level.
Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
Because Sheung can be like that sometimes. Some people say no all the time. Right? So Ned Ungoko spent a lot in promoting the creation of an extra state, at least one, to balance the created states across the country, you know, so at least one for the eastern part of Nigeria. And according to him, maybe that is going to help reduce the perceived injustice in the eastern Nigeria. Politician. So every problem they create, they would monetize and then politicize, all to their own advantage, not for anyone else's, you know. That was Ned. Now, in Abuja, when Omoyele Sowore, Aloy Ejimako, Emmanuel Kanu, and others were released, those who were kidnapped, illegally detained by these power-drunk police officers in Abuja, the commissioner of police and the police illegal IG, right? Illegal IG, illegal police IG, Igbetokun. So Sowore and others walked out of that Kuje correctional center. Is that what you call it? In Abuja, but they are very much in high spirits. The one I want to share with you. First, the walkout from their prison, and he said the cage or the gate of their prison can't really hold the revolutionaries when the time finally matured, and it's already ripened. And I believe here, Sowore.
Revolution, Aluta. Take over, when we take over, people take over, still. Take over, still. All oppressors, then go run away. When Mazi when masses take over street, take over street, when masses take over street, all oppression, them go run away. When masses take over, everything come by struggle, freedom come. Sowore is the leader. Who is the tyrant? Who is the violent? Who is the tyrant? Who is the tyrant? APC is a terrorist. IGP is illegal. Who is a criminal? Who is a criminal? You are a leader. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. 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 All right.
We would like you to speak to the press. What is it? Back.
Mike, yes. See the mic.
Immediately, they were let out of their prison. That was when they burst into that song. And they sang it right in the premises of their prison there, that Tifnumbu is a criminal. Who is illegal IG? Igbetokun is a illegal IG. So meaning, we are willing to go back if you want to send us back, if that makes you feel manly, as you've all been trying to do. Powerful people, powerful. You know, little men and women with power, and they feel so over, they are like pumped with their over bloated ego, right? So Sowore, in front of their prison, gave this welcome back speech, including Aloy Ejimako, right? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a lawyer, and his brother too.
Easy. You guys don't move. How far are these people?
Benga. Benga.
Put it there. Finally, we just been illegal, unjust, unwarranted, and human intention by the Bola Ahmed Tinubu regime, orchestrated by his illegal IGP, and we're heading home. Hopefully. In fact, I was supposed to be heading to Lagos for protest for tomorrow. We are still checking on the flight if there's any flight.
Have you seen the warning from the Lagos State government?
They can warn themselves, they can't warn me. They can't warn me about my rights. They are the ones who have to warn themselves about their responsibilities.
nothing going to stop me. It's not the first time people who are paid to protect have become very likely responsible and only people who exercise their rights. You can't want them.
Okay, now in the build up to the protest, the police had actually issued a warning and they said they will contravene that warning by entering into the restricted zone, which was why the lawyer of Nnamdi Kanu was also arrested. What's the word of
Nnamdi Kanu is here. But before he speaks, I'm not a lawyer. What I know is that if a court gives an order and there's a contravention of that order, you go back to the same court to complain to the judge. It's not the job of police to take it upon itself to be enforcing court orders that they had interest in. But even if they don't have interest in it, there was a court order issued by a judge saying don't go to certain areas. If you want to review the order, you go back to the court. If you want to complain that the orders were violated, you go back to the court. So the police, being an irresponsible organization in Nigeria, took laws into its hand. And I can guarantee you that those court orders were never served on us. If you look at the schedule 3 of the court order, it says serve them by Friday. So no court order was served on us. But assuming it was served on us, even our courts understand that there are certain areas of boundaries we cannot cross when it comes to fundamental human.
Okay, it's being alleged that the reason why you spent a long time in detention was because you called the person for a useless ID.
No, it's not useless.
Okay, so what's your word in terms of the justice system, seeing what played out when you were beaten and manhandled in the court?
It's not the first time. You must have seen a plethora of police attacks since 1992. Some of the police who attacked me had to fight for their retirement benefits a few weeks ago. So it's to also tell the police that are doing it now that they will soon meet their Waterloo. There's no question about that. But most importantly, our goal is to fix the country. We can't be going after small issues, including individuals. The country we want to fix, that's what is on our plate, not this individual police. I cannot be banding words, for instance, with the police PRO, who I know doesn't know his left from his right. I can't be banding words with the IGP, who I know no longer is no longer in the police force. And you cannot be IGP if you are not in the police force. And they understand it. That's why they lose their mind. So I have been through about 7 presidents in my lifetime since probably more now, from 1992. Several police IGPs. Some of them have had to help in the course of. Some of them I had to assist where they were even still serving. Yes. So these are not issues that bothers me a lot. Anybody who is doing what they do knows that your second vacation home is prison.
The service chiefs, I need you to comment on that.
The service chiefs, let me tell you, I was the first to complain about that one who said he wanted to fence Nigeria. Musa, that one doesn't know his words. He's still even better than Ebeto. Ebeto should have been fired if Tinubu were to be serious. But I'm not an advisor to the president, and I particularly don't care what Tinubu does with his illegitimate regime, honestly.
So, Barrister Aloy, please, we would like you to share your experience, considering the fact that
you heard all of that. So, it's the turn of Aloy Ejimako. Sowore will likely be rearrested again as he is headed to Lagos to go and empathize with the people of Oroshoki, who have had their homes and their houses demolished and been offered peanuts. We're going to get to that part. But let's hear from Aloy and his own experience in this whole thing. A lawyer got locked up and he was remanded in prison by a magistrate. So there is no spirit they call self-recognition or nothing, because the power that be wanted them locked up. Just like that, then tortured, beaten, because they could do it. Like something that, yeah, we can do that anyway, right? Listen to Aloy.
Well, it's traumatic, right? Speaking honestly, it's traumatic for me. It's traumatic for my colleagues, everybody. If you say it isn't, then traumatic in the sense of the manner of the arrest. It was very brutal. People who were cooperating with the police were being shoved around, being beaten up. Some of them sustained injuries. Tear gas canisters were deployed directly at most of us. Two had impact on me. And, in fact, if we didn't have strong lungs, some of us would have given up the ghost on the spot. I don't think that type of brutality has a place in a well-ordered modern society. This is the type of thing that we need to do away with in Nigeria. Even at the police headquarters, CID, Gariki, the command, they deployed canisters, several canisters of tear gas just to get us to bundle us into vehicles that will take us to Abator. You didn't need to do that because we were already under your control. So that's something that should have horrible and should be condemned by all and sundry. It is not good, it's unlawful, it's brigandage, and it is executive rascality in high places.
While you were in detention, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu led now we are starting to hear that he's saying what's your opinion, considering the fact that you also have
when the protest was directed, let me make this clear, the protest was directed against the presidency, not against the judiciary. You know, there are things that come first. If the presidency or the executive branch of government does not put you up for trial, no court has the authority to initiate prosecution against you. So, it's a question of where to place the blame. I've noticed a lot of understanding as if we are protesting against the court. No, the court didn't initiate it. The presidency did. The attorney general did. So if the presidency or the executive branch says Nnamdi Kanu's case should no longer be prosecuted, the court will have nothing to try.
Exactly.
This is our point. So those people saying that Nnamdi Kanu is on trial and we are interfering with judiciary, contempt of court, blah, blah, blah. No, come on. That's complete misunderstanding of the situation.
Yes.
It is Tinubu we wanted to talk to. You don't have any business prosecuting a man that has done nothing wrong.
Yes.
And a man you brought into the country under situation that offended humanity, international law, and even Nigerian law.
Yes.
You don't have a business putting him up for trial. So withdraw. Under section 174, I think, of the Constitution, he can direct the Attorney General to do a nolle prosequi. It was done for Sowore here, right? It has been done in history for a whole lot of people. If the presidency or the executive branch or the attorney can say, we are no longer interested in the case, and that's the end of it. That was the purpose of the protest.
Yes. And I was the organizer.
He initiated it.
Yes.
Okay, bye, Kingdom.
Yeah, welcome.
In all of these drama that played out about 5 days back, what's your own stance?
Well, my own arrest is so dramatic. My own is a situation where the IG himself has become the chief terrorist of the Federation. And, they say corruption. Sir, I want to say something. I think there is possibility for us to take pictures now or later. I got one.
No need, don't worry. Thank you very much. I'm actually putting something up, and that's why you can hear my voice again anyway. So that was probably the court. And like I said, Sowore will be added, will be added to Lagos if it's not already. Because the people who are protesting in Lagos, Oworonshoki, whose homes were demolished by these land grabbers in Lagos, led by the Aoba. Some of them have been offered ridiculous amount of money for their properties demolished. What properties they are going to sell for, God knows, multi-million dollars or multi-million dollars. So Some were offered 1 million naira, others 3 million naira for their properties demolished. But when they were doing that yesterday and people protested, right? The Nigerian police opened fire on them. That got captured on camera. But they denied. But it got captured on camera. Right? So we're going to see that and more. Why there is, like, because people were protesting. They said Lagos State government or police commissioner in Lagos, they said that they had no right, they have no right to protest. Like, really? And indeed, like usual, right, they've mobilized all these armed, dangerous looking, maniacs with guns. Yeah, they've sent them to Owuru. And for those who went there yesterday, this is what it was like.
Follow. Show them what people miss. What might be? It's way open. So we were going. If you kill and they go. They go to our people.
tó bá jẹ́ pé àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ẹni wáyé ni a máa ti pè wọn àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n rí lẹ́sùn ìta ló ń sùn ọ̀pọ̀ táwọn tẹ̀tẹ̀ rí lọ́dọ̀ mi ìta ló ń sùn làwọn òbí wọn náà pàjọpọ̀ nínú òjò ṣé wọn rí skul lọ kò sí owó kò sí nǹkan kan ẹ kàn fi wá ní ẹ fi àwọn ọmọ yìí ní wá lára ẹ jọ̀wọ́ ẹ yọ ọmọ nílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ẹ gbà wá mo ń sọ ẹkú kíkorò báyìí ẹ bá mi ẹ gbà wá ẹni tí wàá rò.
So in Owuru. So those who have put themselves together to protest and call the attention of the state government have been, shot at. And all they are asking for is that even if you are going to take our homes, shouldn't we actually get some compensations? These are homes, that people have owned for decades with their documents and everything. But under a very much like false pretense, the state government is keeping quiet or probably backing the land grabbers in Owuru that is believed to be led by their Oba, the Oba of Owuru. I'm trying to put up this check. They gave people what they call the compensation. And to those of you who are very much conversant with Third Mainland Bridge. If you are coming from the Sowore side, going to Lagos Island, so you get to know where Sowore is, right? So imagine your property there, demolished by government, and your compensation is 1 million naira. It's ridiculous. I'm going to put it up in a sec.
I don't want them to take our hand, and as you can see, we did not collect money because me, I'm living in person house, and the pen that I'm living in house is not living here. I'm like a caretaker also, but we did not collect any money from any anybody. They did not bring any money to us. They just come here to scatter everywhere and break everywhere, and they not ready to do any good thing for us.
Nísìnyí tẹ́ bá rí àyè láti bá gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì sọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú kò síwájú wọn báyìí lẹ́sìn kí lè máa sọ fún wọn ẹ jẹ́ ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú orúkọ yín àti kí ẹ sọ pàtó nǹkan tó wà lọ́fẹ́.
ẹ má pariwo náà ẹni tí wọ́n ti yé wọn láfẹ́ kò lè sẹ́tù náà ẹ jẹ́ kó sì
Asali ló talẹ̀ wa ló lè fowó àwọn òwò lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ kò sí lẹ́yìn kọ́kọ́ tó lọ bọ́lẹ̀ ọba Asali àwọn tẹ́nàntì ló lọ gbowó lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ pa àwọn ọmọ ìlú àwọn fámìlì ẹ̀ ló fún lówó kò ń ṣàwà ló fún lọ ilé wa la fẹ́ gbà padà tilẹ̀ wa.
It's an unbelievable place. So on the screen are the compensation paid to some of the alleged homeowners in Sowore. When you take a look at the first check on the left, it is 3 million naira. Was it 3 billion? No? Sorry, is that one? No, it's 1 million naira. The one on the left is 1 million naira. The check on the right is 3 million naira. Baba, these are the kind of compensations paid to those they claimed to have paid the compensation, for. So the state government continue to deny their own involvement. They said they are not part of it. How could that be going on in your state? And thousands of people have become homeless in this sense, and you still insist that it's not you. And then if it is not you per se, right, who are these guys? The government agency, they call them the property something agency in Lagos. And they have been busy. Now, Omoyele Sowore was talking about the police, and that's why I went to Sowore in Lagos. So the Nigerian police are more interested in two things. The first one is to protect the criminals that you call leaders. The second one is to take out their frustration on you, the people that they are supposed to also protect in Nigeria, while activists are being locked up. Terrorists are walking free. I mean, I kind of have to give to commend those who are the Nigerian soldiers who participated in the killings of the reported killing of these some of these terrorists 2 days ago. Because I saw the pictures, I saw the videos, and they say, okay, we killed 70 of them when they attempted to attack the community and all that. So, which simply means that Nigeria continued to play a defense when it comes to the fight against these terrorists. So they wait for them to attack and then they defend. They wait for them to attack. So the terrorists are migrating and moving on and all of that place. If they do not come close to where the soldiers have no reason to chase them. That is the strategy, right? But we caught one on camera. I think it was yesterday I was talking about the funding of this terrorist. And there was a report that, there is a gold for arms kind of a thing going on in Nigeria where people are mining gold, and the terrorists are mining gold and they're exchanging the gold for weapons, right? So I'll show you one clip, right? I have tried to know which part of northern Nigeria this was, right? When this video was made, but I'm not 100% sure if this video is recent. But for context on the idea of how are these terrorists getting the supplies of their weapons, how are they paying for them? Well, we have heard even though we haven't established, factually those who are indeed like funding them, those who are taking these resources from them, supplying them these weapons, right? Well, take a look at this video very well and tell me what you see. So we have seen videos of strange helicopters dropping strange stuff in the middle of the forest, mostly captured by the locals who size them. And most of the time when this happened, right, there will be an attack in many, many communities surrounding the area where they just spotted these helicopters. And there will be no soldiers coming around. So how do you think all those boxes, right, that they have to be like 3 or 4 of them to carry each one? How do you think those boxes got in there? What do you think could be inside those boxes? I know you are likely going to say, oh, but I know they put weapons inside the carton, cardboard. Like, okay, fine. What do you think is in those? Food? Ammunitions? Because ammunition, this life ammunition, they are the bullets. Could those be bullets? Could those be anything like, how did they get into that forest? Because you can tell that there is no road around that place. There's no kind of motorable place. So it means it's that they kind of like it was drop off and they were there. Those ones on bikes, they were there to protect the goods, right? The delivery, while others are moving them aside to begin to move them maybe to their camp. So, normally videos like this are all over the internet. Videos of terrorists and their escapades, they're all over the internet. So if you are doing your own research about them and you search for them, you can easily tell the geolocation of where these videos originated from. Absolutely. So if you can do that and the authority can't do that, do you think the conspiracy theorists, they are wrong? That those behind terrorism in Nigeria are also the same people in government? Would you say they are wrong with videos like this? We'll leave it at that, But going forward, in Delta, it's been a while that we have heard from Bright Still Bright, right? But before that, okay, let me show you the new faces of your service chiefs. They newly announced or appointed the service chiefs. They went to see Kolu earlier today for a Photoshop. And like their predecessors, right? I think some of them are already working with a walking stick. Soldiers with walking stick. Crazy, man. Anyway, here, inside the Asshole Rock this afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir. I bless you. I bless you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
So this was after the announcement of an aborted coup, which the Nigerian army denied hours later. Okay. I hope the service, the new service chiefs have their, I believe they already have their job cut out for them, because the first spot should not just be Kwara. They should stop by in Plateau State and possibly meet this victim of the Fulani terrorism in Plateau State. Yeah.
That hospital. That hospital, there are girls that were taking care, the Fulani girls. There are Christian girls that are taking care of their beloved ones. The Fulani girls are also there, so they were all mingling together. Everybody was after his own, caring for the admitted ones. The mother of the other girl that was admitted, she was there. But when the Fulani terrorists came in the night and robbed the hospital, they kidnapped 2 people. All of them are Christian girls. They raped them. One escaped. Near the mountains that is behind me, the rocks that are here, they released them around 12 midnight. They have to scroll in pain, crying. They resurfaced in the hospital again. The nurses that were on duty, they took over. Even as the time that I came the following day, there was still blood stain on their clothes. After they removed, they put another one, blood was still rushing. This is the life of Christian in Nigeria among the Fulani terrorists, the Islamic terrorists. Now, we just brought this token so that it will pass across with the donation that we have received from different parts. We'll continue to be faithful to give this one on behalf of the daughter, and we give God the glory, Baba. I'm giving you this token of, let the power of Jesus guide you. I know you have passed through pain.
The reality of some people in Nigeria, it seems like we all have different realities. Of course, but majority's reality today is what you just seen depicted on the screen. So if the service chiefs are indeed going to be a breath of a fresh air, they have their job cut out for them. But we have seen this, we have seen them come and go, right? And the problem persists. While these guys become very rich, right? The people they promised security are left in anguish, wanton destruction. That seems to be endless. But their governor, well, he told the gathering just yesterday that he is under the pressure to go and join the APC. He is a PDP guy. This is their governor.
It is not a lie that they also put pressure on me. But I told them only 2 people will authorize me to change party. One is the God of heaven. The other is you people. Have you asked me to go anywhere? No. Have you asked me to go anywhere? No. So those who are rejecting me for what I did not look for, you know they are doing a useless exercise. And they are only hiding their desire. They are only hiding their desire. The truth is that 60-70% of the people in MDC on the plateau, I make bold to say, they will be glad to have us in their party. It's just that they are biting their finger. Muslim is over. That's why they are angry and trying to twist it. And even, anyway, let me leave it there. It's a story for another day.
Àmọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ gbé kalẹ̀ yìí ó dàbí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹni tí ọpọlọ rẹ̀ yòrò tàbí ẹni tí Ọlọ́run fi síbi aláṣà àwọn ọpọlọ rẹ̀ bí ọpọlọ ikú. Ó jọ mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ tọpọlọ rẹ̀ ò tó nǹkan rárá tàbí ètò wà ń bẹ kó má tiẹ̀ wúlò mọ́ rárá.
Politicians. Anyway, a very quick break and announcement. It's a reminder as we are almost rounding up, okay? Please, if you haven't liked the broadcast, can you please do that just now? Thank you. Because you know something, in the last 6 months, YouTube especially, that of Facebook has been like for years. I'm grateful that a lot of you are kind of like still finding Maiyegun live on Facebook. However, on YouTube, I've been kind of like partially shadow banned, even though if that's not the right word, okay? So they said it's the algorithm. And I have been kind of like being pressured. Yeah, that's the other option I had. Because I've been pressured to actually spend money by promoting the channel. I've never done that, even though some people said that's not ideal. But again, I rely more on the organic kind of like gathering like this, which solely is built on you sharing the broadcast. Okay, so share it, like it. Especially liking it means you are here. I'm grateful for those of you who always like engage it, you engage yourselves, reacting and the rest of that. It does help. So I've been told that alternatively is just to make sure that you know, people keep like liking and sharing. That works. So in the recent time, we have seen the number. We have seen so many of us beginning to get the notifications now. Like, oh yeah, Maiyegun is live, you know, even before I come on. So which is great. So the second one is the part where, I mean, you are great. I have to give it to you because it's the love, isn't it? It's like the broadcast. If we are like over 1,400 of us on YouTube, before it drops now, right? We should not be less than maybe 600, 700, 800 of us should have liked the broadcast. So because of these months and months of shadow banning and all of that, it has also affected the supposed revenue of the channel, which mostly goes into funding this, running the entire platform, funding subscriptions and the rest of that, okay? So I started a short fundraiser on the side. It is voluntary. That's why I put the first one first, which is the one you can easily just like. So I have a donation, what they call link that you can chip in, whatever you think, $1, $2 or whatever you. So they do help ease me in the continuation of funding this platform as it is. Some will look back and say, Maiyegun, you are still, I've not seen you in ages. Well, I'm still here. So yeah, you can use any of that link and help me top it, okay? Now let's go back to Niger. Okay, we're still in Niger because we're going to go to Cameroon too. Now in Nigeria, it's been a while that we've heard from Bride, Tio Bride, Edafe, giving us the crime report and what people did in their effort in trying to get out of the situation they are in Nigeria. So the story is the story of an herbalist in Delta who has been doing ritual for someone, and then at some point The man came back with somebody he wants to use for ritual, and he ended up being killed, as well as the person he brought, by the man who has been doing the ritual for him for a while. So they found them. So the whole story, right, and the interrogation, which is the part to show you that sometimes when when the police in Nigeria ask you questions, right, even if you didn't do it, you probably will know that you are guilty already. And if you did do it, also you know that you are done for. Right, from Delta.
I'm SP Dafe Bright, and this is Delta State Police Command. We are presently at Owa Aledima in Eka North East local government area of Delta State. On the 14th of October 2025, a case of 2 missing persons were reported at Agbo Area Command. These persons went missing on the 30th of September 2025. During the course of our investigation, the girlfriend to one of the victims, Friday Liberty, now stated that my boyfriend was actually in contact with a certain native doctor. When they contacted the native doctor, he said he didn't see the boy, however, he was going to do some spiritual cleansing so that the body or the victim can be rescued. While he was at it, police went on investigation and we discovered that indeed, yes, they have been in close communication before the sudden disappearance of Friday Liberty. Hence, the herbalist was arrested. Upon his arrest, he opened up that yes, Liberty Friday and a certain Okada man came to him on that fateful day, 30th of September 2025, where they murdered both of them in this shrine, killed them in cold blood, now took them to a soakaway pit at the back of this building and dumped their body. We are suspecting a case of ritual killing because when you go around the shrine, there are blood stains all over. Upon interrogation of the suspect, he stated that Friday Liberty came to him to do something that, what do they call it, quick money. That was his own statement. However, upon the victim getting here, instead of him to give him the spiritual assistance which he claimed he came for, he turned it to kidnapping and called the family in Enugu for a ransom of 10 million naira to be paid. When the money was not forthcoming, they murdered himself and the Okada rider and dumped their body in a soakaway pit. We'll be going to get the suspect very soon and also interview them. Now we're interviewing the suspect. What is your name?
Amechi Okwoken.
Amechi
Okwoken.
You are the native doctor?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been practicing?
2 years now.
2 years now. Okay, this boy when come your shrine, so what will make you kill him?
The boy, I dey do work for him.
Which kind of work you dey do for him?
I dey do client make they pay for him.
Okay, you dey do client make they pay for him. Okay, so why you call kill him?
He reach, make I talk.
Talk now.
He reach one day, so now my brother come. Yes, sir. Now my brother now bring the idea. Say make I bring my contact. Make we use them make money.
Okay. Okay, so now when you come bring her come that day, now just kidnap her.
Yes.
The Okada man uncle wetin come be your way be say una still kidnap her, kill her, join.
The Okada man not do anything, no. The Okada man not do anything. As e be say the Okada man come with am, na him make am be say we hold 2 of them together.
How old are you?
They born me 2005.
So you are 20 years now.
Yes.
Okay, this is your brother. Wetin be his name?
Smart.
Is it the same mother, the same father with you?
No, the same father, but not the same mother.
Okay, why una come kill am? Why una come put the body of the boy?
As we kill am, na him we come carry am put inside soakaway.
Soakaway, the 2 of them?
Yes.
Okay, when una call the family of the Liberty, how much una say make dem give una? Okay, 10 million for the 2.
No, 10 million.
Okay, 2 of them 10 million. Okay. You the step brother, what's your name?
Smart.
Smart. The Okada guy wey una kill together with the Liberty, why una kill am?
Yeah, na wetin Juju tell us say if he dey come, say he go come with Okada man, say make we carry the 2.
Okay, una Juju tell una say if he dey come, he go come with Okada man, say make una carry the 2 of them. And the Juju still tell una to kill them?
Yes, after they see the space.
Okay, so why una kill them? Wetin be the reason for killing them?
Yes, because we don too much. That is na wetin the Juju tell us to do.
Okay, na Juju say make una kill them. So when una kill them, una feed them to the Juju?
No.
Where una put their body?
Put them for the second.
Don't worry, you talk.
Yes.
You now put them for where?
Sokaway.
The Sokaway pit. Okay, so we've had them. It's unfortunate. We don't know what the boy is not here to speak for himself, but according to him, they were tying clients for the boy. That is what they said. I don't know. He's dead. He didn't die alone. The Okada man who just took him there, seeking for daily bread, they also captured him and murdered him as well and dumped their body in a soakaway pit. The weapon that they used is this one are taking the two of them.
So this one now waiting we where we do well when so say we do first paper.
Now this one are taking them, yes or no?
This one.
Okay, now this one are taking them.
Yeah, this is part of it.
Okay, it's part of what you use in killing them. All right.
Nigeria's situation is a serious situation. People believe that they can possibly make or have a breakthrough by meeting the people who can't even make a breakthrough for themselves. Somebody wants to do juju for you. And that juju is going to make you what? Clients to pay you or to make more money. But you see where he lives. You see what he does. Do you really think you that they call their customers? Do you really think you are not the commodity they are trading? So I have kind of heard stories where people who goes to all these guys ended up becoming their victims, or they become people who bring victims to them. And what do you think they are doing? Organ harvesting. They will tell you, say they won't do you money, juju money. Take this soap and take a bath and bring us 7 girls. And after that, you go back to the burial ground. You will see bag of money there. And they didn't clock that they are harvesting people's organs. That's what you are giving them. They are not doing any ritual. There's no ritual. They are harvesting people's organs, selling them, giving you your own share. As long as you keep your own end of the bargain, you are fine. The mentality of them giving you something to say, once you use this one to touch them, you don't go talk again. That you see in the movies. And then you somehow believe that, oh yeah, that's how they actually get people. Really? So you end up there killing your fellow human, not for money. Not for money. So at the end of the day, most of these guys who are a bunch of criminals themselves can turn on you if you can't give them something that will give them money. They could use you. They say they will use you for juju. Which juju? Because they will have a buyer for your own organ, and somehow it works. They get paid, and that's you gone. So initially they wanted to take them for ransom, to collect ransom. Then they ended up killing them. What about their organs? So be careful out there. Most of the guys you want to run to, spiritualists, this and that. I'm not saying people who are very spiritual shouldn't kind of use their spirituality, because spirituality varies, right? But when you try to go to somebody in that your desperate state, you need somebody to do you juju to find a job in a country where job no day. You ended up becoming the wife of the babalawo, or you become the sacrifice, as they call it. Just take a look around you and say, I'm looking for husband. There's this spiritualist that will help me get husband. You see, say men won't marry now with the situation of Nigeria. Can you not think and say, with this situation, which young man won't go carry somebody's daughter and put her for house? It's people who can't feed themselves. How can they feed any other person? Reason now. Then you end up in the hand of one fraudster. If you're already talking to somebody who is a spiritualist, who is telling you we will do kinikon, we'll do kinikon, you are the commodity inside that contraption, Nigeria. You are the commodity. The moment they begin to ask you to bring 1 million, bring 2 million. If you can get somebody, if you can bring someone, Baba, now go you day. So you better reason them. Because if all those guys have all of this, they won't share them with you. They don't know that what people say is that they know the share updates. You are the commodity. You are. in any of those fraudulent schemes that you are participating in. It's like that of the witches and the wizards. I grew up knowing that. You know what I mean? Until I started reasoning and say, or more. When Bokuwari was coming in, APC, Egbekebe and their change. I remember if this one endorsed him, that one endorsed him, this one endorsed Bokuwari, that one endorsed him. Yeah? Even the witches and wizards endorsed Bokuwari. I mean it all. It's in the headline. Go and check their news. Nigeria Association of Witches endorsed Bokuwari. Nigeria Association of Wizards endorsed Bokuwari because they said that Bokuwari will do well. Maybe they knew that Bokuwari won't do well anyway. So the APC is the only political party in the recent time that scammed the the young, the old, the rich, the poor, scammed the babalawo, the mamalawo, the witches, the wizards, and nothing happened. So there's a time that we need to kind of tell ourselves that it is the same when you see all these religious people too, right? You will think, oh, they love God so much and they believe, no. They are giving something. And the reason why they are is because they are expecting something back. You get what I mean now? So only few people can actually say they unconditionally love God. Majority are there. Where they close their eyes and they are making their demand from God, you will realize that this is why they are closer to God for something. And in the process, these fraudsters can fill in the gap and tell you that they can take your prayer to that God faster with by parting with little money or give us promise, right? And then you will believe them and say, okay, maybe this one will help my prayer go faster so that God can make me get that job, can make me get that business, can make my business work well. Your business is suffering in a country where the Tifnubu and this Tifnubunomic is killing businesses. But to you, now that guy will carry all those, the designed room there, speaking to a spirit who protects you from a country where the policies are already there to kill you, strangulate you. Reason more, you realize that majority of the things you are praying for, majority of the things that send you into the hands of these fraudsters all over the place in that contraption under different guises, right? Majority of them are caused by failed leadership, failed government. Full stop. If you have good leadership, good government with good policies and everybody's, under the law, right? You will realize that most of these guys will go out of business. They will go out of business because you won't go to them and be asking all those ridiculous nonsense that please, pastor, say, your mother, your father, you remember your father is very tall, is short as well. Say, yes, pastor, thank you. A country that is led by rogues, turning out, criminal policies that continue to mitigate against the people themselves. There's no amount of prayer that can fix that. Trust me, there's none. Right? What should we then do? You know what to do. And that's my original position. It is when this rotten system is completely neutralized, dead, right? There is nothing you can do. So your aim and goal should be not to sustain it, not to manage it. It is to call for an end to it. And then you can then say, okay, yeah, let's do it differently. This is what you should do. Or what you should be thinking. In Cameroon, from the 12th of October, that's been like 2 weeks ago, when they had their presidential election. The man that is their current president, Paul Biya, who has been living in France for a while now, some said he probably didn't even know that he is a presidential candidate. He probably didn't even know there is an election happening in anywhere. Talk less of him being a candidate in that election. 2 weeks for a country of 31 million people. 2 weeks to count elections and then announce results. 2 weeks. until their own INEC, I'll use that, their own INEC chairman, right, announced the result today. And it's Paul Biya, the 92-year-old president, the oldest president in the world of Cameroon, has been declared the winner of another 8 years term in office, which would then take him from 92 to 100 when he's going to finish this new tenure. Cameroon is a very, very, very funny country. Trust me. The entire population of Cameroon is no more than the entire population of Lagos. That's the entire population. So imagine conducting election in Lagos, and then you have to wait for 2 weeks to count it, only to announce a man that never came to the country to even do any campaign. So it is a very funny country. If you look at their vice president, their president is 92. Their vice president is probably like 89. Their Senate president, the Senate president of the country is like maybe about 90. The chief justice of the country is like maybe 91. The head of their INEC is like maybe 150. I don't know. You give him his age.
Biya Paul. Suffrage obtenu 2 474 179, soit 53,66%.
You hear that? That is the head of the electoral body in the constitutional something body of Cameroon. And the Cameroonians are not really happy. Trust me. They've been everywhere protesting. They've been shot at. 5 people have been confirmed killed across Cameroon by their police before the beginning of this show. And some snippet from the same Cameroon from last night to this morning.
Voilà la police qui marche avec nous, voilà la gendarmerie qui marche avec nous. On ne casse rien. On ne casse rien. On ne casse rien. Voilà la gendarmerie qui marche avec la population. Voilà ça. C'est pas que, voilà ça.
There is more, but because of our time, and I see a few things to share just before we go. He's been declared winner, and as expected, right? Reactions followed, but could it be sustained? Could they push further to ensure that, no, this is not going to stand? We don't know. The man that is challenging him is also not a young person. That's why I said the Cameroon is a very funny place. So this is the guy challenging him, and I've heard that he himself is like about 80 or 82 or something. So he declared himself a winner because it doesn't take 2 weeks to count elections like that. So they have their own reports, but at the end of the day, he's allocated 35-point-something% of the vote, while Paul Biya is allocated 53% of the vote or something, you know, in Cameroon. So this picture of Paul Biya is more than 20 years old. I just thought you should know, in case if you are probably coming across, this is the man Paul Biya. his current state is, but that was Cameroon. In Ibadan, as it is reported, school children, for God knows what happened, engaged in the inter-school fight, kind of like a street fight, and it was captured on camera. I decided to share that with us this evening. School children in Ibadan. That's all your state, right? Our leaders of tomorrow. But again, that's sort of like it should remind you of something. If you went to public schools, when you have, inter-school relay, inter-school football matches, inter-school this and that, and then suddenly some unruly ones will just kind of like start a fight, and before you know it, back and forth, right? But in 2025, it should somehow like AQ, like they have that mentality of like bring out their machetes, their cutlasses, and like with the intention of probably to machete themselves, but they were not ready to take some cuts themselves, so they were like running back and forth. Secondary school children, right there, all right. But what about those ones that in power? Those ones who also grew up like that. I mean, those who are your leaders today, they were children yesterday as well. They grew up in that same kind of like system And somehow you will think, oh, they should make it better. And some of us complain that this is not right. When we were younger, we saw adults complain a lot, but we didn't understand. But some of us are now older, and life lesson has taught us that a country is more or less like the reflection of our people, right? So the same criminals who are now ruining the entire place pass through this same system. And this is what they could give us. We are not going to manufacture people from elsewhere, right? To probably make that contraption work, okay? So if those who are supposed to make it work have sustained a primitive system that is kind of like laced with so much corruption, right? Immorality and all of that, okay? So then the result is what we all have to bear. You get what I mean? You're not going to manufacture people to come and do it. No. If people feel like they deserve better, right, you will expect them to do better. But no, they won't. Sister, we produce those children who are using cutlasses, produce the ones who are also looting the public fund. Here is a road in Ogun State that's shared just a few hours ago.
Today, 26 Sunday. This is 3:41 p.m. This is the situation of this road, Itele Road, Ayeto Road, Lagos Interbandry. This is Ogun side. This is Lagos side. You can see how car were parked, and the road is the Lagos side is very okay. People have to queue and wait for this water to flow before they can pass. Even presently, there are some cars stuck, which sure that those cars will be damaged. Stuck inside the water there. You can see people cannot perceive many of these cars here. Even people, everybody just have to wait. Government, that Kwabiodu will call on you. Yayi, the senator of Ado daughter, we call on you. You guys should come and rescue your people. This is not the government we want. This is not the one we vote for. This is not the one we pray for. This is bad. This is bad. It's terrible. It's bad. It's terrible. What if there is emergency? How will somebody escape with this water, with this river on the road? This is not good. You people should consider us. We are human beings like you. It's bad. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we call on you, the president. We call on you. This is Lagos in Ogun State Interbandry. Look at it. Lagos side is very okay. Look at it. Only Ogun State. What's the problem with you guys? Each time we be calling on you, no respond. Not even filling up the road, even though if you don't tie it. This is bad. This is bad.
They don't care. But like I said during the program, in Nigeria, we all have different realities. Something that is burning you in the house somewhere is burning somebody in the back elsewhere that they are struggling to even touch it. While elsewhere, it's something else. But when it comes to road, it seems that the Abians are having it different now. I mean, we've seen a lot of their celebration because it's more or less like governance probably just started in 2023 in that place, considering their history, right? So here is a very happy residents of a newly constructed road that cut across several communities. So someone who was so elated, right, after years of abandonment or so, made this video. This was from Abia State, rather. They have a name for the road. Hang on, I'm going to check it. So the name of the place is called the Undi Okereke Abam Arochuku or Afia Road. For those of you who are from that axis. Yeah.
Yo, alas, okoma. Oh, ndabia mwem. Abia State yoma o. Kani wero tuobio. Kani wero tuobi Abia State go wero no ya kankembo. Na ezi akwụọ. Ụmụnne m ndị Abịa, ebe unu si n'anụ olu ugbu a bụ na ozu abam ndị Okereke Arochukwu Road. Ajụjụ m chọrọ ịjụ His Excellency Dr. Lex Otewo, sọsọ na Baịbụl ka m hụrụ Chineke ji ọkụ rie aja. Ị chọrọ iji ọkụ eri aja na ụzọ abam ndị Okereke Road? Gọvanọ nyere gị mmiri, nye gị ọkụ, nye gị ụzọ, a na-ebu agụ ole wee zaa ogbu agụ? Ndị abam ndị Okereke, ọkụ, ụzọ achala. Chineke lekwa, Chineke lekwa o. Lekwe street lights, lekwe ụzọ, lekwe street lights, lekwe ụzọ, lekwe street lights. Nke a abụghị nke a na-eme n'ọnwụ na taụn. Dr. Lex Oti nọ n'Igbo na ọnụ oyibo. Ọ na-eme n'ugwu, ọ na-eme na ndịda, ọ na-eme na Aba, ọ na-eme n'Ụmụahịa, ọ na-eme in all parts of Abia State, touching lives, touching communities, touching local government, impacting in every angle. This is highly commendable. This is highly commendable. Osiota setiri akwa, setiri ya. Maga. Ya ugo di ni wa akwa n'abalị. Were moto gị ma ọbashiri gị, ma ọ jiri ụkwụ na-aba ndị Okereke. Alaeze arụ ọnụ ụzọ rụọ ọrụ na field a na-agba bọọlụ. Na ka ndị ọbụla pụtara ịgba bọọlụ ebe a na-abalị. Unu enyi dịkwa edi ọda light. This is highly commendable. Dr. Lex Oti, God bless you for remembering the people of Abba. Don't get it again. I don't you go. The Bayon of Malaya. Who's a Shagan or the Lamfair? Almost here. The government dinner. Dr. Lex Oti have maintained. Ụgbọdị ọbịa ụgbọ mmiri na-ezoro ndị ama na ndị ọjọọ, ma ndị na-frustrate the government. Alaeze na-arụ ụzọ, arụ ọkụ gafee n'ụlọ ha, ma ndị na-criticize ihe niile anyị na-eme. Alaeze bịa ya were ọkụ mee gị shut up, ya were ụzọ mee gị shut up. This is Omenoko Bridge. This is Omenoko Bridge. This is Omenoko Bridge. Oh, Chineke lekwa. Chineke lekwa o. Lekwa o. Ihe a dịka ihe anyị na-ahụ na north. Ihe a dịka ụzọ anyị na-ahụ na north. Ile the old bridge, Ile the new bridge, Ile the old, Ile the new. Maranu, Ile the iche, lekwe the old bridge. Come back, umunna. Come ziunu. So that ihe na-ekwu, ya na-ede anya, lekwe ụzọ Omenoko Bridge. Lekwa ụzọ Omenoko ka mkpọrọ unu, mana o nwere mistake mụrụ ndị rụrụ ụzọ a mere, mana onye isi m gara ịlaike ka ndị jed ndị rụrụ ụzọ a, ndị rụrụ briji a, ka ha tikwu ụzọ, ha kpofusi aja, n'idi itizi ụzọ, ha kpofusi aja because ndị na-ekwutọ gọọmenti gị Wounding Alan or Chichi for 24 years. They couldn't do this road. Only Shasim Kumasi Haprohosa like this, Kahana Ba. Get your toll gate. Emma Halani Wu, only Haman Asa for Geshunos Anaga. Siporano na this old bridge in Aga. Chineke Kamda Pueba. See na this old one, Naga. He laid this new bridge. He happy and the Hamada them. Oh, Chineke Lekwa. Lekwa here, Leha water before. Asa bridge, so Saja Leha water. Eba Gahato isi Buisi Inile. Chineke Simba. Mercy said no. Dr. Lesot. Okay, quality. Yana quality 5 and 6. Nkaga ada. Man ha bia agba city re honzo. Ka ha na agboza. Ihe ha ji tụọrọ anyị ga were tụọrọ ha. Lekwe delivered in less than a year. So my question is, where are all this money? Keda be ego nda na aba isi nsi. Ala esoti ana arụ ọrụ. Ana onwe anya na anụkwa na ebururu billions, trillions. Ana arụ ọrụ da akwụ ụgwọ. Na-show all workers. Ndị iberibe. Ndị ihe ọma na-asa afọ na-akọgheri ọnụ. Lekwe ya lee ụzọ apụtala m lekwe the old. Lekwe the new. Chineke si ezila m gị ụzọ ndụ. Ziga ụzọ ọnwụ. Nwa m ele nke ị ga-eso. Ị ga-eso ụzọ ndụ. Ka ị ga-eso ụzọ ọnwụ. Dr. Lesis ndị Adam na Arochukwu ndị Okereke. Lekwe ụzọ ndụ si n'ụzọ ndụ. Onye sikwa nnọchọ isi ụzọ ndụ. Ndị ihe ọma na-asa afọ ndị na-achọrọ gọọmenti afọ years. Onwe ihe ha chọrọ iweta ihe dị mma. Ha si ụzọ ọnwụ a. Ma ọ bụ na ha achọghị ịma ihe ọma. Ekele m unu.
Like I said, everyone's reality is different. But you know what makes that kind of interesting and why I brought it to you is that he started the road construction. That road, I think it's 20 something kilometers or so, right? He started it this year. You get what I mean? They started, I saw the picture of it in April, right? When they started like, they are going to do this road, they are going to do this road. It's not completed though. You can still tell that it's not completed though. Most of their street lights have not been put up. Oh. They did the road in less than a year. So which means by 1 year, right? What people have suffered for 24 years could be fixed in a year. And people are already on it, like using, there are other places like that where they've done similar, but I just kind of got fascinated by the commentary of the person who made the video, right? And if you are not from Abia State, you will never understand. Abia State used to be a place where they just shared the money. It was that bad that the healthcare policy of the governor, the last one there, was to give every new mother 500 naira. Maternity support is called. To give birth to a baby in Abia State, they will give you 500 naira. 5,000 naira, 500,000 naira, 500 naira. The 500 naira. You don't know what 500 naira can do for our people. Because the delivery is free. That's what he said. So to them, it's like they are just being part of this, your democracy after 24 years of just being in the shadow, right? So in Lagos, right, where they make a lot of money, they too are doing, according to the Wahhabi Wele Wele, they are doing a lot to cut down these shanties, to cut down these illegal structures on the road, or these stores on the road and all that. So it was out yesterday and today. This morning they were around there, K2. You know K2, my 12. Wabi was there.
Oh yeah. Extension. Ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ wá sí ibà ìmọ̀.
ẹ̀yin yẹn ní kẹ́ súnmọ́.
Tẹ́ bá fi lọ́lé ẹ má wá síbi báyìí mọ́. Tẹ́ bá fi lọ́lé ẹ má jáde wá síbi o.
Ó ti dé wọ́ orí bí ti dé wọ́. Ẹ bá lè yẹ kó wá kó yín kẹ̀kẹ́ kẹ̀kẹ́ ní báyìí mọ́. Ẹ lè padà síta. Ó ti dé wọ́. Ó yá, kí ló ṣe eléyìí nǹkan?
And this one too, but this one is not in K2, elsewhere.
They are still at Thompson.
Carry this in deep here.
They'll come inside.
So why are you putting your market here? I don't want to see anybody standing here.
Àwọn èèyàn pàṣẹ bí orí gbọ̀ngbò yìí. So ó wá ní ká lé àlẹ́ pẹ̀lú ọ̀gá àwọn ọ̀ká ẹ̀kọ́ wà ní pé kí wọ́n fún wa tó wà lọ́jọ́ obìnrin nígbà ní abẹ́rẹ́. So wọ́n kọ́ fún wa ní ibi extension tá a lè dúró so that a lè pàtẹ́kẹ̀ sí ìdí níṣẹ́.
Ẹ gbogbo ìgbọ̀nsí, ẹ wo ìgbọ̀nsí, ẹ padà nínú ìgbọ̀nsí mọ́.
For us, it's very much essential, for our people to feel safe. That's a very important aspect of administration we want to run here in Agege local government. To ensure that people can come in and out of Agege, residents can go anywhere and they feel safe and secured. That's a very key part for us. And another very important part is the community development associations, the CDC, they've all made big complaints, around this area, around theft, around stabbings, around drug use, around drug dealing, around drug selling. A lot has been happening within the community here, and it's something that we want to make sure we cleanse. So our youth can thrive, our community is safe, our people can sleep, and they don't have to worry about anything. So, this is the first step in the right direction. I was here myself about 4 to 6 weeks ago. I walked around the railway line and I saw shanties built up. I saw young girls being involving themselves in prostitution. I saw drug use, drug sale, all things I saw by my own self. So it wasn't like someone reported to me. So, it's something we have to come and clean out. We've come here, we've written notices, we've involved the Lagos State Environmental Task Force, and we also be taking our own action today to cleanse it out and make sure that, all of the people troubling our community are apprehended, so we can have a clean, a safe community here in Aige local government. And, we don't want to be known for the wrong things. We want to be known for the positive things, in Lagos State. So this is a step in the right direction. We don't want to do this just, once in a blue moon. Like, we want to.
So it's going to be something they will be doing again and again. Cleansing the street of all the, absurdities or something. Right. We have overshoot our time, but probably not without sharing this with you before I leave, okay? Because probably not going to use it again. And that is the image. They said it's about 500 of them, backing up his promise of ensuring the availability of fuel for those of you who are going for the Yuletide, 30 December and what have you, in Nigeria, talking about Dangote. I remember I received recently about 4,000 of those CNG trucks. Somebody cited them near his refinery this morning, right? And he said that is how it happens every day. And we should leave it in the diary.
Dangote won't finish Nigeria. Che, I'm a work today. If you get your license and the Sabi drive, Dangote go employ you. Salary do okay. Dangote buy 570,000 tankers. 570,000 tankers or more. Any MPC go hear them or more. This one now, if you buy fuel from Dangote, Dangote go transport them come your fuel station. You buy gas from Dangote, Dangote go transport them come your gas station. This way, you no need to pay for transport again. No. Just come and buy from Dangote. Come and buy from Dangote. And the MPC go collect woto. They never see anything. Share you see them. Now so they carry and they go every blessed day. Now so Dangote they carry and they go every blessed day. Every blessed day. Every blessed day. Every blessed day.
So maybe you just see they will said 570,000 470,000 trucks. Anyway, that's some disruption that will happen in the Nigerian oil sector in the long run. All right. So this is where we're going to draw the curtain. Thank you very much. I got my first donation, by the way. Yeah, on my GoFundMe. So thank you. Yeah, you could donate there and make it anonymous. Okay, so maybe I'll do the fundraiser maybe tomorrow, maybe next, depends on the mood, but I really do appreciate your support. So while we call it the night, remember, like the broadcast, share it if you haven't done all of that. Subscribe to my channel as well. If you haven't, check your notification settings and set it to on, and you won't miss anything. So the next time I'm around, you will be around too. Enjoy the rest of the evening or night. So good night from here.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun ti dé. àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary Nayibi number one. bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun diary Nayibi number one. ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary Nayibi number one. Maiyegun diary Politico. Maiyegun diary Nayibi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun diary Nayibi number one. ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun diary Nayibi number one. àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ dódódódó. Maiyegun diary Nayibi number one. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. kí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. àyè. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran. tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ̀ bù. lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.